Yeah, it's awesome. Let's do it. We're loaded into map number 2 here of this best of 3. The winner will go on to the finals. The loser will drop down to play for the 3rd, 4th decider, as there is so much money on the line that we didn't want to just split it even between the last 2 guys. In the top right side of the map, we have the Axiom Acer team represented by MMA and Crank from Team Axiom. In the bottom left position, we have the French team. Both players are on Millennium, so it's just much easier for me to tell you who they are. We have Lilbow and MarineLord. And for this map, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm just gonna lay it all out there. From this map, we have seen so many one racks or Reaper expands into feed builds for a Protoss player to go for a 7-gate blink all-in. We have seen it several times. In fact, I believe MarineLord and Lilbow pulled it out in the qualifier to qualify for this tournament, of course. And then we also saw them bust it out at least once, I believe, in the group stage, which worked to great effect. I don't think Legacy and Larry actually popped that one out. Maybe they did on this map. This seems to be the map that 2v2 teams like to do it on. Dune Trenches, for those of you guys wondering, this is not a 2v2 ladder map, but you basically have this entrance to both bases and this potential natural for one of them, and then the other natural a bit safer tucked in the back. There's a gold base out towards the center, and a lot of bases strung around the edge of this map. We saw a very long game that was actually played out by MarineLord and Lilbow against Nurtio and Bly. Like, Nurtio and Bly, if you guys missed it in the group stage, we had an hour and 15-minute game that didn't even it wasn't even a Swarm host game. It wasn't even Swarm hosts. I think Lilbow had, what, 30? He had something like 31 Void Rays. Was it 31 Void Rays and like 6 Tempests? And MarineLord had maybe like 10 Vikings and a handful of Ravens. And I think Nurtio and Bly had something along the lines of like 50 Queens, 10 Infestors, like 5 Vipers, and maybe like a dozen Corruptors. So it was a pretty wild game. And like I said, we'll work on getting the VODs up as soon as we can for you to check all those out on YouTube. But this map, MMA, 2 racks Reaper, he's decided to open up with. So getting very aggressive in the beginning stages, while Crank is looking to potentially proxy a Stargate. Oh, Twilight Council. Maybe we're going to see some DT action now. MarineLord's SCV got around. He didn't see anything. He didn't see the second barracks either. So he doesn't know 100% that MMA is actually going for this very aggressive opening. And what is MarineLord doing? 1 Reaper into Reactor into Expand. This could still be that feed build that I was talking about earlier. We'll have to see how much he invests into actual units. I believe it's after 4 or 5 minutes you can start to feed. As well, he's just chronoing out Stalkers at this point. Lilbow does not want to take chances versus any potential Reaper aggression. He also wants to be safe against a possible Oracle that could come out of Crank. But Crank going for the proxy Dark Shrine and proxying one of his gateways. So at this point, they might, if they were to scan Crank, they might think, oh, he's just going for a fast expand, but he's also currently boosting out his Warp Gate technology. MMA has 3 Reapers. What's here to defend? A Reaper and 2 Marines. Now, technically, the 3 Reapers win head-to-head, but the first shot should get off for these 3 boys, which would give them the advantage. So I expect to see maybe MMA jump up through the middle, or if he goes up this ramp, okay, picks up a Marine, almost loses one of his Reapers, so not a bad trade. Oh, he's just going to use this. He's going to micro. Nice, but he still loses 1 Reaper. Oh, both Reapers picked off. MarineLord, good response time there to target down that one. And this Mothership Core for Lilbow, it scouted here for a proxy Stargate. It did not find one. That Dark Shrine, though, it's getting very close to completing. The only detection available are scans from MarineLord. This command center does not have enough energy. This one will when it transforms into an orbital, and I think the orbital transformation should be done right before the DTs show up. But look at this. It is going to be that feed build that I was talking about. MarineLord and Lilbow have done this quite a few times. The Reapers are going to come in for MMA. He sees this. Not much here. There's nothing really at all here. In fact, he's just going to get a missile turret so that he can be safe against maybe an Oracle. In this case, it will be the Dark Templar. But Crank has not actually started to warp in any DTs yet. He has the Dark Shrine. His warp gate's done. And here we go. 2 DTs. Where are they being warped in from? By the gold base. Crank. This Reaper, he knows. He kind of sees, like, you're not building anything, and there's so many gateways here. This is going to be an 8-gate blink push off 1 base, but the Dark Templar are moving in for Crank, and there's no detection here for Lilbow or MarineLord. He needs to get in. He needs to get a scan to pick these bad boys off. The DTs are also going to get a lot of great scouting information. Oh, he's trying to block off with pylons, but it's not going to work. There's the first scan, and the DT's going to run out of scan range. Oh, he's going to escape the scan. Mothership Core barely be able to pick it off with that Photon Overcharge, and this missile turret from MarineLord should actually allow these Marines to defend this mineral line. If he goes to the other mineral line, then he'll be able to defend there. But he knows, hey, you don't have an observer on the map, do you? I could probably just send more Dark Templar. You don't have infinite scans. There's no missile turret in your base. And because of that, he's just going to be able to walk straight in. Is there enough energy for another scan? Oh, he's pretty close. He's pretty close to having 2 more scans. Where are these? Oh, I thought he was going to... If these went straight for the probe line, I think he would have gotten more. MarineLord's actually going to build a missile turret behind the mineral line of Lilbow to help buy him some time. But these DTs are just going to target down the missile turret. He scanned here to kill a DT. This DT escapes. And these 2 DTs are still alive. Oh, no. I do believe he has 1 more scan, right? He has enough energy for a single scan now. But he cannot hit all 3 DTs with the scan. He gets 1, 2... This DT is still perusing the map. This missile turret will not be done in time. He's just going to run right down. In fact, he's outside the scan range, so he can just kill the SCV building it and continue to go ham here while this Reaper shows up again, and MMA gets 3 kills. This has been an absolutely fantastic opening for the red team. Lilbow realizes, he's like, yes, I did open up with a set with an 8-gate blink on 1 base. I do kind of need to do something with this as he begins to chrono boost out an observer to help his buddy out. But MarineLord no longer has the economy to give Lilbow enough resources to actually build a mass blink stalker push. Look at this. He's got this pylon. He's banking 600 gas, but he can't afford to build that many stalkers. And MMA, well, his stim's about to finish, and he's got 8 Marauders with this. So the complementing Crank's additional blink reinforcements, I think Lilbow, I don't think he can do this by himself. MMA's just going to walk down this ramp and just start laying waste to this army. The blink control is sure it's going to be all right, but I think at some point, yeah, MMA still was picking off way too much. Crank actually showed up, killed 2 stalkers on this side, and denied that pylon. Lilbow and MarineLord, they took a lot of damage at the beginning of this game. Now, MMA did cut some economy to get what he needed out as well. Crank's still on 1 base economy by himself, continuing to work units in. So maybe there's just going to be a big counter push. Lilbow has a lot of stalkers. He's going to try to just use that blink control, but Crank comes in from behind. He's going to target down Crank's units and continue to run away. MarineLord's Marines not particularly useful in this situation without any upgrades or stim. Crank getting ready to push in, and it seems that MarineLord and Lilbow are potentially about to be knocked back by a counter. MMA does not have medevacs, though, so I'm guessing it's like, well, do you really want to push forward with this? You do have stim. But Crank is, wait. MMA is not feeding Crank now, is he? No, he's still building units. Just trying to keep my eyes on that. He catches the weakened Bioforces out on the side, of course. He used up his blink, so he has to wait for that cooldown now. It is ready. And the total stalker count is superior for Lilbow. He's just going to jump right on top of this. He thinks he can win the battle 1v1, even though a lot of his stalkers are injured. And he's actually starting to win this battle. Lilbow, despite everything that's happened to him in this game, despite all the harassment that's been done to not only his economy, but the economy of his feeding teammate, he's actually managed to make this work. MarineLord basically threw a Hail Mary by saying, look, I know we took a lot of damage. I'm just going to continue to feed you, and we're going to see if we can make this work. But I think that they've done it. They've got an absurd army supply lead. 36 army supply for Lilbow versus just 26 of the opposing team. And he's going up to 50 army supply. Oh, boy. Even with stim, he doesn't have the medevacs out. He doesn't have a bunker, anything to fall back on. No siege tanks. This Nexus for Crank would get shut down instantly, immediately canceled. There's the Photon Overcharge, but there's no units here to actually fight against this. He could target down the Nexus, or he can go for the Terran base. And this Observer, oh, he's got a DT mixed in, too. There's no missile turrets for MMA. And there was 1 scan. He scans, kills the DT, but the DT actually grants vision for that blink, and Lilbow just jumps right on top of this. At the same time, a DT did come back for Crank, killed 7 of the SCVs, and MarineLord's natural, but I don't think it's going to be enough because he still has the Observer with his army. Time warps the Stalkers and Zealots coming out of Crank's base. He gets the Mothership Core, but as long as this Observer is still here, there's no way to actually kill all these Stalkers since he can't produce enough units to do it, and the Dark Templar would get spotted by the Observers. I think we're going to see a 2-0 here from MarineLord and Lilbow in the 2v2 Ting Cup. GG's called by Crank and MMA, and another well-chosen strategy. MarineLord and Lilbow get themselves up to the finals where they await the winner of our next series. That match